Welcome. Cool stuff. All right, we're gonna get this started. So today, this event and session is brought to you by Schulich Startups at the Blockchainist conference here in Toronto. Also sponsored by Zeifmans. We have two really amazing speakers here today on the panel, which I'm going to go into in a moment. But first, I want to give a little bit of preface into what today's session is all about. Um, Obviously, cryptocurrency and the crypto sector is like a rapidly emerging industry in the world right now. A lot of people see the industry as like building, a better financial future, a better economy. There's like use cases around the world for blockchain that are like creating new opportunities for people that never had them. And really, the space is an exciting community of builders and innovators, and more are being attracted to the space each and every month. And the industry sort of runs in cycles. So there's like these cycles of positivity where they call them bull runs, and there's these cycles of downward interest and investor interest. Those are called bear cycles, and also often known as crypto winters. So right now we're officially in a crypto winter. So the name of today's talk is growing startups in the crypto winter. So we're going to get perspectives from three entrepreneurs that are building, three Canadian entrepreneurs that are building in crypto and building in all entirely different areas. So I want to introduce our first speaker, Edward. Edward Zhu is an investor, advisor, and VC deal partner, also serial entrepreneur, Schulich alumni, also a CPA, and has an amazing track record with a background in also investment banking. So he's seen the business sector from a variety of different ways. He's exited two startups in algo trading and marketplace tech, and he's been working in Web3 as an investor for the last few years. He's participated and co invested with global leading investors in the sector. So, Edward, thank you for being here, and maybe we'll dive more into your background as we go through today's talk. All right, our next speaker is, I think, becoming a face of community building and crypto in Toronto, and I think more broadly, a bigger goal of Canada and North America. Ashley is a crypto educator and has a bunch of entrepreneurial endeavors that are going on that relate to her community building. I'm gonna just name a few here, but she's the main thing I want to touch on here is she's the co-founder of Crypto Babes, which is like this global community of women that are building in crypto and learning and educating in crypto. There's over 22,000 members and growing in that community and ecosystem. But there's also a bunch of other stuff that I think is super notable. She also co-founded Blacks on Blockchain, which is an initiative to increase representation of the Black community in crypto, which I think is like a huge opportunity in the industry and for minorities and people of different socioeconomic classes, and that's what attracts so many people to the space. So I'm excited to talk a little bit about that, and I think that's a good intro to start us off. I want you both to give an opportunity, just because it's a long form recording here, to add anything else to your backgrounds before we like dive into today's topic. So I'll have you start off, Edward. Is there like something notable in your career that you've been really proud of, like in this last year, that you'd like to kind of share in the crypto space?
Yeah, so I'm really glad that we all made it. 2022 was a really tough year for the entire crypto industry, along with the global macro slowing down. 2023, it's been a slow and steady recovery journey for many crypto startups. I've been fortunate enough to take advantage on the market, the bear market, I guess, to invest in some incredible companies at down rounds. So it's been great. I'm loving it so far in 2023.
Okay, great stuff. We'll talk more about the investing in the winter in a moment. Over to you, Ashley. Just anything else you want to add on your background or something that you've been really proud of this year?
Yeah, actually, it's really recent. So this year, for of course, Futurists is the first time they're doing ETH Women, and I'm so
Okay.
excited because this is the first time CryptoBase is really participating
Okay.
in a hackathon together as
Amazing.
a team. So right now, I think
Oh,
we have like we have 3 teams of women that are participating, and the best part is it's like their first time.
amazing.
So they
Amazing.
don't even like some of them like I don't even know what a hackathon is, but I'm like I like what you guys do at Crypto Babes. I just want to be a part of it.
I love
So
that.
I think we're like super excited about that.
Wow.
Maybe that's a first, but it's only the beginning. So
That's a
excited
huge,
about that.
yeah, that's like a huge milestone. Little goosebump there, because I think like the whole part of the space and like, I brought actually a friend to come to the conference today, who knows nothing about crypto. Like they don't even know what Bitcoin is.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, I'm trying to bring people I've never heard of this at all into the space, and that's I think the beautiful period that we're in. It's like a period of learning, a period of education, and a period of building. So let please give both of your perspectives on what the crypto winter is and sort of what you've been up to in the crypto winter, like what you've been seeing in the space in general. Keep it open ended there.
Yeah. So the idea, the concept of the whole like crypto winter is really the fact that we see Bitcoin go from like all time highs to like really dropping significantly. So in this case, we saw Bitcoin at like 70K US, and it dropped down I think even as low as like 16,000 US, which is massive,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people get nervous. A lot of people are laying people off. People are losing money, right? So a lot of that kind of negativity, to kind of go back to the word you were using as
Yeah.
well, in the market. But at the same time, we actually start to see, or for those that kind of study the market, you realize that this happens all the time,
Yeah.
right? I started my journey in crypto back in 2016, and at that time, when we saw Bitcoin hit like 19K for the first time, we thought like for us that was our 70K.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, we're gonna be millionaires, and then it also dropped the same thing from 19 down to like 6K,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people thought it was over,
Yeah.
even though that's the same asset that went from 6K all the way up to 70. So
Yeah.
it's like first have to understand the cycle, and
Yeah.
then in terms of like how to get the most out of it,
Yeah.
this is the best time to build,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whether you're looking to work in the space or you're thinking about starting a business or a project, like this is the best time to like dive in, build those connections, and then
Mhm.
just build until things take off again.
Amazing insight just into like how the price is really of Bitcoin really drives, interest in the market to the mainstream because, people are driven by wealth creation opportunities,
Yeah.
and Bitcoin, like many other asset classes, like provides like an attractive hedge against other investment opportunities. So yeah, these cycles, they like draw in people and they draw and money goes out. Maybe Edward, you want to talk about it a little, the crypto winter, a little bit from like the capital inflow and outflow kind of side on investments as well.
Yeah, for sure. So this up and down cycle, it happens. It's cyclical market because when the times are good, when interest rates are low, firms are able to raise money at extremely lucrative valuations, and we have speculations that create a speculative asset bubbles, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and various other cryptocurrency go way above their what you call intrinsic value. And in the bear market, you see the reversion to the mean, where going to the opposite direction. And so the way I look at it is you should, as an investor, have some sort of idea of what you position something of a value is, right? And then by comparing with what your intrinsic value is, you sort of can understand what premium or discount you're paying for whatever you're investing in. So whether that is a crypto coin that you're investing in, NFT, or any VC fundraising rounds you're investing in these projects, you can potentially catch really good opportunities. If you say, for example, investing in these discounted times,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, no, definitely. So price is like one thing. You mentioned about Ashley about like the builders and it's like a great time to build because, interest is going to be coming in the future. So like while things are a little bit quiet, it's good to like set the foundation and, to build the infrastructure that's going to be needed for the next group of users. that come in. I think what we've learned is that there's a lot of problems in the space too, because it is so early, and that kind of like sets the ground for like builders to actually solve problems at hackathons. I think like access to education in crypto is still like a major problem. My background in crypto most recently with my company has been around security and keeping people safe and preventing scammers, right? So we see that as like a really big problem. But I'd love to get first actually your perspective on a problem set that is like really exciting to you in this crypto winter, and then same thing over to you, like maybe a problem area that you're or theme or thesis area you're investing in that you're really excited about would be cool.
Yeah, good question. I guess because I'm in like the community and more onboarding space, I would say the biggest problem in order for us to get to like mass adoption is really the simplicity of platforms and applications.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think I was helping someone the other day. They're like, okay, I set up a certain cryptocurrency wallet and they're trying to figure out how to send funds, but they don't realize you need to have like some Ethereum in order to be able to send funds and do any transactions. And it's like, in order to make that, like if you can make that process smooth, people will come on board. You look at a product like Apple, almost like no shade to the Android users, but almost everybody has like an iPhone, right? And everybody understands how to use it because it's just so simple.
For sure.
Right? And like they really shifted the entire space because everything in the process was simple. So I think when people that are building apps, building any type of tech or anything, right? Or product, you have to be able to communicate the information to them in a simple way. And then the product that you're building is like, how do you break it down? And I find like, because I'm in the communication space, onboarding people, sometimes you get really excited about a product and it's hard for you to kind of like dumb it down because you just understand it, you're excited. It's like, how do you not understand what this is, right? But it's like for people that are brand new, which is like mass adoption, it's like, how do you break it down for them where they actually understand like what blockchain is? Why is it more exciting than crypto? How do they work together? No, they're not the same thing. And that's how we're going to start to see mass adoption. So a lot of companies are building products, but until they solve that problem of simplicity, it's not going to like take off.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think like also like holding like some of these larger companies and like centralized exchanges and like leaders in the space accountable to be better leaders and better educators, both online and in person, supporting the communities, supporting people that are uniting new people into the space. I think we got to make a connection to you and the country manager at Coinbase. What do you think?
I'm good. I'm definitely for. Actually, you know what? I actually did have a conversation.
Did you meet him today?
Not yet.
Okay, no, let's do that after. He's doing a panel tomorrow, and I met him yesterday, and he this is a big thing Coinbase is caring a lot about right now, is like how are they going to be onboarding like the next wave of Canadians into crypto, and they're big supporters of the ecosystem. They want to meet entrepreneurs like you, so we're going to make that connection happen.
Definitely.
Edward, I want your thoughts on it. What are you excited about investing in right now and in the space, and what do you think is useful in this winter period?
I think one thing that Ashley brought up that's really interesting is about speaking of mass adoption, right? And I think the next wave of mass adoption should happen based off a real problem to be solved. There are a lot of crypto business that are building this space, that are building products that are based on theses that perhaps are more abstract versus solving real issues that cryptocurrency as a product on its own can easily address, such as the 1.4 billion people of unbanked population around the world. So there's about less than 2 billion people around the world that do not have access to banking infrastructure, do not have access to readily available loans, and it handicaps them significantly economically speaking. So having cryptocurrency as such low barrier of entry to a libertarian banking system accessible to anyone with basically an internet and a wallet is tremendous for these people. So I think the solving and bringing these unbanked populations, which are 1.4 billion people, on board to use cryptocurrency to transact, to use cryptocurrencies as store of values is going to be very valuable for them and for our global economy as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like we see all over the world, but obviously in Latin America, more specifically, the devaluing of currencies. There was an election in Argentina, I think yesterday. Their currency devalued against the U.S. dollar became from what was once 500 is now 700. So like for people working there that are earning in their domestic currency, like there's like huge downside for creating wealth. And right now, like that, there's an exciting energy underpinning around the world, and I think it's sort of like a jack in a box kind of thing that's happening. There's a couple areas that I'm also super excited about that I would like your perspectives. Maybe you've heard a little bit about these areas, but like there's like Web3 social, which is like obviously like people having ownership of their data and autonomy over the content that they can see. There's like innovations happening in like point of sale, where people can now like tap and use their crypto to purchase something at a coffee shop in Paris, with USDC. So like we're seeing the rise of like stable coins in sort of like this transfer of payment. These areas are exciting me, plus security, obviously. Do you have any thoughts on like some of these areas, how they're attracting the next billion users into crypto? Like our friends, for example, that might not hold cryptocurrencies, don't want anything to do with PFP projects. DeFi is too complicated for them. Um, you know, talk to these other areas that might actually pull in other demographics of people.
Yeah, great point, actually. So actually, on the same point, like I would say that we are going to see a lot more people getting onboarded, right? I think it was actually McDonald's in Switzerland that now accepts Bitcoin. So like you go to
Amazing.
McDonald's, you're buying a Big Mac, and you can just pay with Bitcoin, right? Which is amazing. So I think like that's going to help a lot of people get into this space, but it still goes back to education because
Yeah.
people need to know how to use the wallet in order to pay for that Big Mac, right? And like making sure they're still securing their assets, which a lot of people lost money with like FTX and everything, right?
Yeah.
So there's still that slight gap there, but I think for sure like problems that we're actually solving, even when you mentioned like unbanked, like that is huge, such a huge market. And even for when I got started in crypto, I was all about like being able to like invest and make money, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is helping people around the world that don't even have access to financial services. It's not just about like investing, right? So I think solving problems like that, like the more essential stuff, is where we're going to see a lot more people come in. But being able to simplify the process, I think is perfect. Like there is an app called Coin Miles. It's perfect for those that are in Canada.
Okay.
That's like the simple way for people to even start getting like Bitcoin cash back.
Okay.
Right. So like the other day I went to like LCBO or the Uber that I took here, and I'm getting Bitcoin back from that transaction.
Wow.
So it's like things like that that'll attract people to want to learn more,
Yeah.
that they're doing it in their everyday. But now they're like, okay, I can actually earn Bitcoin for free.
Yeah.
Why not?
Amazing.
Right. So I think it's like knowledge, but then simple and cool features like that too.
Yeah, no, I think that that's great. And obviously, like the user interfaces have to come a long way. In reality, a lot of like the people that are and top products that are in the space right now have a lot more progress to go, and they need to be challenged at like the foundational level on like how they're designed for us to like make it easier for people to get into the space. But maybe for you to chime in on that same question, there's a bunch of, from more like the investor side, there's a bunch of these other areas that could, like in gaming, Web3 gaming, that they're like, oh, it could attract like, billions of new users. Like, what are your thoughts on this?
So I think in every niche in Web3 business, everyone like to say we are the ones that are going to attract the next billion users, which I think could all be true, but it really depends on your specific niche, right? I think each market is sort of untapped in a way that you're kind of building your own community, your own group of people to bring into this world, right? There's going to be a huge amount of people that will be attracted into this market through the cycles, through the bull cycles, through the bear cycles, through the speculative investments. They like to invest in a coin at a low market cap and sell at a high market cap. And when you have money invested in a specific token or in the market in general, you start paying more attention to it. You start learning more about it. and in a couple years you're an expert, right? So that's one part of it. Web3 gaming, another good example. Um, it's a huge, the reason there are so many companies building Web3 gaming is because gaming as itself is a huge market cap. It has a very large total addressable market, and it's only growing. And even if you were to capture a sliver of that total addressable market from gaming side, it's massive, and everyone loves playing games, right? Even for apps that provide the best user experience, people like to gamify them to attract users. So you pay more attention to it, you use it longer, you use it more frequently on a daily basis. So gaming is another great way, right? Through attractive opportunities for people to start playing the game. They might be someone who has no idea about crypto, but they learn about this game where you can enjoy, have fun, but also earn a token or some sort of reward on the side, right? There's also on the social aspect, NFTs is a great example. Not only it taps into the collector market, it also tap into a lot of the social aspects of our current world. Many people join NFT communities not because of the speculative value, but because of the community it brings, the value of the community itself. So there's many ways that people are coming together through different entrepreneurs, creating different Web3 businesses that attract their unique niche audience into the space.
Yeah. Awesome. No, I agree.
Just wanted to add a quick resource because actually I try to stay up to date with all the different like grants, accelerator programs, and stuff like that. Still do your own research, but I did hear an organization called IntelliX actually has a Web3 gaming fund. So if you're actually looking to start your own gaming, and of course within the industry, even if you're brand new or you have something already, that's a huge opportunity to secure some funding to be able to build that and bring it to life. I was actually telling this to a gentleman that has a son. He's like, "Oh, my son, all he wants to do is play games." I'm like, "Hello, get him into this," right? Because it's Web3. You don't really care too much like how old you are or whatever. But as long as you have the idea, like you can tap into resources like that.
Yeah.
And then I was also gonna say too, in terms of innovation, one area that I also like is real estate.
Yeah.
Right. So now there's like conversation about like crypto mortgages or like fractional ownership when it comes to different products. Like I think people are gonna really love those pieces. Like for the crypto mortgage pieces, like instead of selling your Bitcoin to take that money to buy a property, why not just use your Bitcoin as collateral? And then you don't have to like lose your position or have to sell that Bitcoin. So I think things like that, once they're built out, because it's still very new.
People are building.
I think those are things that people.
I love that you added that because that's again coming back to like people's everyday life, right?
Exactly.
What they're eating, where they're what they're driving, where they're living. Some of these like bigger purchases and stuff. I think small purchases, micro purchases, like you were saying, and loans. There's a lot of exciting spaces and things that are evolving all at the same time. Have you guys been to some really good crypto? I know we're here in Toronto, awesome, but there's like this like amazing like global community of like people in the sector. Have you been to any events, or would you recommend any events? Like maybe we could take a second here to give some suggestions.
I've been to a couple of events around the world. The conferences are always the best part. Not for not I'm usually not there to learn any specific topic, but to talk to people, to network, to meet any companies that are worthy of being invested, any good entrepreneurs that are willing to take on the risk and that are to be invested. So these conferences are always great, and I see a lot of. This morning, as I came in, I saw some friends from other part of the world that I haven't seen for a while, but we see each other here at these conferences.
Awesome. Yeah. Is there like a specific one you'd recommend, or I know you definitely have a couple.
I went to NFT New York City this year.
Okay, cool.
Consensus is also a great conference.
Yeah, Consensus in Austin.
Those are closer to us.
Okay.
Singapore is actually also great. So Token 2049.
Yeah, Token 2049.
Yeah, and ETH conference, ETH Denver. I didn't go to ETH Denver this year, but I heard it was great.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. It was very big and a lot of talks and a lot of after parties for sure. But okay,
my favorite conferences. I mean, I might be a little bit biased, but I would say Bitcoin Miami, just because that's where like crypto waves really started.
Yeah.
It kind of took off for us. So plus I love Miami. It's beautiful. Yeah. Very nice out there.
Awesome.
And then, like you mentioned, token 2049, of course, in Singapore. And I haven't been, but I want to go to ETH Paris. I heard
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
yeah,
Paris alone has a lot
yeah,
of great events. And then also Dubai. I know in October they tend to do a lot of really big conferences as well,
yeah,
right? So I think it's good. And then also too, like even though a lot of these conferences are like crypto and Web3, I would also suggest or recommend, depending on the industry, like what you're trying to do, just going to regular tech conferences,
yeah,
right? Because as an example, like for myself, if I'm focused on education and I'm looking for people that are brand new, I don't necessarily want to go to a crypto conference to get clients. I want to go to a regular tech conference
yeah,
to get people into crypto,
yeah,
right? So I would consider looking at something like that. So like here in Toronto, we have Collision. It's
yeah,
like 40,000 people for that tech conference. Huge opportunity. The next one in Toronto is going to be Elevate,
yeah,
probably 25 or 30K people,
yeah,
and that's going to be in September. So it
yeah.
just depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and I think they'll have dedicated crypto like talks and stuff. I think they did last year
Yeah,
as
that's right.
well. Yeah, for some upcoming stuff, there's like there's so many events around the world, but yeah, we're gonna be going to Permissionless 2, which is like Blockworks, and somebody else in Austin, Texas, where
Texas.
Consensus is. That's
Yeah.
gonna be in September, and then there's NFT New York coming in also September with a hackathon, and yeah, people should stay connected to ETH Global. If you are
Mm-hmm.
seeing this, ETH Global, you can find them across all their channels. They support a lot of developers and community builders in the Ethereum ecosystem. So, okay, that's just some like recommendation tips. Maybe that gets, or maybe that gets stays. But I want to kind of, we were talking obviously about the crypto winter. You mentioned FTX. I think a big thing is that people got really scared after that happened because FTX was partnered with Stephen Curry, was partnered with Shaq, was partnered with Taylor Swift. They had commercials. They had
Yep.
sponsored Miami Heat Stadium. They had generated all of this wealth only to basically crumble the market in October. And people are scared. So I don't want to talk too much about what happened. I want to talk about what we tell those people about why it's going to be better going forward. And if, what you would say to somebody to like calm their concerns about, getting into crypto and the risk in crypto.
I would say that the important part is education. I think
Mm-hmm.
Ashley perhaps is doing a great job on this topic.
Thank you.
So education is important because at the end of the day, you have to do your own due diligence. You have to learn about all these things yourself, and just be glad that the small mistakes you made in the past, whether it is you're impacted because of FTX or whatever, hopefully you will learn a great deal of lessons that you can apply in the future.
Yeah.
And Of course, always be willing to lose everything that you're risking in terms of capital, right? So have a plan and invest wisely. Know what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome.
Yeah. In terms of like learning opportunities, I would say the biggest thing is having an exit strategy,
Okay.
right? Because as an example, if let's say for those people that were maybe invested in FTX, like their actual token, right? What you could have done is maybe set like a stop order as an example, right? So
Yeah.
as an example, if let's say the coin is, I don't know, $100,
Yeah.
you can set it up where if the coin drops to maybe like $80 or maybe $50, it'll
Yeah.
automatically sell it and convert it back into Bitcoin
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Canadian or US dollars,
Yeah.
right? So it's like having those things in place that are helping you to keep your funds,
Yeah.
right? So if you don't have that, please do that for Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever cryptocurrencies
Yeah,
you have,
yeah.
because it's so volatile,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then the other piece I think is people are kind of like forced to learn about security now, right? They're like, okay, I don't trust these websites, but it's like now it's like you're forced to learn how do you be your own bank,
Yeah.
right? With a decentralized wallet and do it properly,
Yeah.
right? And have that game plan of like how you're really gonna get in and then get out,
Yeah.
right? Because actually, even though a lot of people lost money in FTX, like I said, a lot of it's exit strategy,
Yeah.
right? It's not like everything happened necessarily like overnight all in one day.
Yeah.
It was gradually where it continued to decrease. So
Yeah.
if you're watching your portfolio go down day after day after day, it's also on us.
Yeah.
Because you could have taken certain strategies to take out some of those funds as soon as you start to see that movement in the market.
Yeah.
But because we're such emotional beings, especially for those that are traders, maybe can relate. When you see the market going down, you're like, okay, it's going to go back up.
Yeah. No,
You kind
definitely.
of convince and sell yourself, but in reality, it's just like, just take it out, put it into a stable coin, or put it back into cash, and then when you're ready, get back in.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
And understanding those cycles. I want to take a little pivot here and talk a little bit about like what both of you are doing. I'll talk a little bit about the experience I have been building in the crypto winter. How have you found the environment? Like people that you're looking to collaborate with, other industry, builders. Are they playing ball? Like, do they want to support you? You found some like opportunities with portfolio companies during the winter. Maybe you want to plug one of them or give a little, comment on that as well. But I'd love to hear about your happenings in the winter. How's it been? How's the ecosystem treating you?
Yeah, I think because the market's down, everybody's just really collaborative. We're just like, okay, because there's no roadmap on how to be successful in Web3.
Yeah.
Right? No one really knows. Like, it's so new. So a lot of us are just like, how do we work together to merge our communities or to build a project together, right? So that we can just build and create something that once the market does kind of turn around, we can be on the better end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think people are willing to collaborate. I'm excited. Like I said, Coinbase, right? We're looking at other communities, other organizations that realize that everything goes back to community, regardless of what products you have, app, token, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing. And then I think for individuals, they're looking at how do I like use this technology, just maybe start my own business as an example, or just start to create something, or what resources can I plug into? I mean, for me, like, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen so many opportunities for like accelerator programs, funding opportunities during this time, or even for those that want to be developers, like this free education that's teaching you how to build on their blockchain, right? It's just tapping in.
Amazing. And your community has found a lot of success with your brand online too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just talk about that and like, advice to other people that, want to build a brand in a community. Like, I think, you've done an amazing job. So maybe speak to that a bit.
Yeah, honestly, the Crypto Waves community just grew overnight. Like, we just started on Clubhouse, for those that still remember.
Okay, that's good to know.
But we really just saw that gap
in
the market where we're like, you know what, we want to create a space for women, or at least that's inclusive.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of it has been consistency, because I think what we noticed, especially for those that are on social media, when Bitcoin was up, we saw a lot of like crypto educators. And now that it's down, it's like it's so quiet. So if you're consistent, regardless of like what you're building, people respect that more.
And you stand out in the crowd too.
Exactly. And then that allows you to build a more credible brand, a more trustworthy brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. Great stuff. Okay, so over to you, Edward. Like, your thoughts on been building or through investments and through other deals, and talk about a little bit about that. What's your experience been like? Are deals hard to get into right now? Is it a struggle for founders fundraising? And then we'll go from there.
Fundraising is certainly tougher than 2021 and 2020, and that's just because it's a liquidity issue, right? There's interest rates are high. There's market is less liquid, and funding are a little tougher to come by, and the standards for fundraising are a little higher.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is to make sure that you're building something that is valuable to your community, to your customer. And I think the same ethos for building a regular startup applies for building a crypto startup, is that you just really need to do it and see it through success, right? You need to find your product market fit. Do not expect short-term speculative gains, more prioritizing on the long term. Think about how your product or service can actually offer value to your customers, users, to the community, right? Instead of looking at when you're going to unlock those tokens and basically retire from it. Rather than that, looking more long-term oriented in terms of is this product going to be useful in 5 years? Is it going to fit in the world in 5 years with where crypto being where it is?
Awesome. Okay. Follow-up question. And these, like, the investments that you're making as like a crypto investor, are they similar like to these traditional investments for like the audience? Like, are you doing investments on safes, or Are you participating in price rounds? Like, how is the environment the same? Or is what's it like? Do you do token warrants? Like, maybe just a little bit of info on that for the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So for crypto fundraising, I dealt with more pre-seed and seed round fundings.
Okay.
So for these rounds are generally speaking safe,
Yeah.
which is the traditional safe, and also the SAFE, which is a simple agreement for future tokens instead of equity.
Yeah.
And token warrants could be additional icing on the cake if
Yeah.
you're raising a safe round.
Yeah.
I would say that for a company that already have a concrete plan about launching a token in the future, you could certainly consider raising a safe for
Yeah.
future tokens.
Yeah.
If you do not have a concrete plan about whether you're going to do a token or not, but you're kind of in this Web3 space, perhaps you could raise a safe, which for future equity, plus a token warrants.
And the combination of those two, yeah, are
Yes,
becoming
it's
very popular
Yeah.
and required by most investors. So interesting view there into early stage like crypto investing. From more of my world in the last like 6 months, we were in Los Angeles, which is like burgeoning crypto ecosystem, especially around like the rise of NFTs and NFT communities and entertainment. So while we were out there, we were in accelerator with Andreessen Horowitz through A16Z Crypto, Crypto Startup School. So anybody that watches this, that's like another accelerator that might be interesting for you to apply and check out. But while we were there, we learned all about like tokenomics and like how the future of decentralized organizations are and decentralized groups of people are collaborating together to make better decisions through like structured governance to control the allocation of funding for really impactful things in the world. And I think like that's more of just like a teaser for people out there that are listening to this recording that Web3 is can be you have a really wonderful place to start to learn about it, and you can learn about the very simple things and should be a very like easy straightforward process, and there's more and more that's being invested into that onboarding. And then there are these ramps into all of these like wonderful areas and industries that can like change the world and like make such a big difference on people, communities, and it's a really exciting time because like technology is not just bound to just the centralized systems and big tech that we've been used to. There's like these new avenues that are giving a voice to the people that have never had them before. And obviously we're three young Canadians in crypto, all really successful in what we're doing. So I'd like you to each like have this final moment of the segment here to kind of like share what you're doing, even what you're selling, like at the core, whether it's your brand or a program or, you're looking for deal opportunities, make your pitch and, kind of share what you're all about. And then we'll bring her to a wrap. You want to go first?
Sure, yeah. So I've been advising Web3 businesses and crypto related businesses for the past 3 years. And for now, I think my focus is on investing. So any company looking for seed or pre-seed round of fundings that are in the Web3 space, building innovative products that solves real problems, come talk to me. I'd love to hear your idea and see your pitches.
Awesome. Great stuff, Edward. Thank you. Ashley?
Yeah. I guess the biggest thing right now, I have my own 7-week academy program. So really for those that are like new, they're like, okay, maybe I've invested in crypto or I heard about blockchain, but I don't really know what it is or how to find my place in it. Well, that's where the crypto strategy comes in. So we cover from crypto investing to NFTs to the metaverse to how to launch your business or career in Web3, all of that in about 7 weeks. And it is like lifetime access. You get the content, you kind of just break it down, which is really nice. And it kind of builds one on the other. So That program is like a cohort-based program, so we only run it maybe 2 to 3 times for the year.
Yep.
But it's really awesome because we have people all over.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to say, too, over the past 2 or 3 cohorts, we've had, I want to say like 65% have been women. So I'm like,
Amazing.
yes.
Good stuff.
They're excited to learn. But yeah, literally excited
Great.
about that.
And where can they find you on social? And I know you're big on social, so.
Yeah. So Instagram, LinkedIn, almost anything at the Right Success.
Okay, at the Right Success. There you go. Awesome, wonderful. So what I'll say to wrap us up is it's been a pleasure to moderate this discussion today here in Toronto, celebrating like blockchain education. I'm obviously a Canadian entrepreneur for the last 7 years. So whoever hears this part of the segment, you can reach out to me directly. You can find me online. I'm always willing to help other entrepreneurs learn about technology, but also learn about building companies and operating companies and scaling companies and connecting to really great people. I think I got maybe some deal action for you, and I think I got an introduction to the country manager of Coinbase in Canada for you. So I think, we share the love across the space. Thank you all for kind of the people that are attending here, sitting with us in person. And yeah, looking forward to seeing more content from Schulich Startups and Zeifman's on the Venture Series that we are closing out here today. So thank you to our sponsors and everyone that supported. So have a great rest of your event and conference.